Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News update. A bill to repeal the statute of limitations for child sexual abuse passes the Maryland General Assembly. The measure sponsored Delegate C.T. Wilson has fought for the legislation for years. Wilson is a survivor of child sex abuse. The bill now goes to Governor Moore for his signature. The passage comes on the heels of a report released yesterday detailing decades of alleged sex abuse by clergy within the Archdiocese of Baltimore. More than 600 young people, allegedly suffered sexual abuse or physical torture by more than 150 clergy members from the mid-40s to 2002. Baltimore Archbishop William Lori spoke out about what he called the failures of the church.
The lengthy investigation and news of this recent motion has certainly reopened deep wounds, most especially for victim survivors, to whom I extend once again my deepest apologies for the abuse suffered upon them by clergy and others whose sinful and criminal acts so badly damaged them.
Although the report focuses on churches and clergy within the Baltimore Archdiocese, there is a local connection. Several of the accused clergy, some of whom are now deceased, were priests in our area, including Father Timothy Murphy, who served at DeMatha High School in Hyattsville from 1967 to 1969. Murphy is accused of sexual abuse in the late 60s and 70s. The Archdiocese notified the Trinitarians, the order of the Catholic Church in which he served. He was then removed from ministry. Two priests who served at the Resurrection of the Lord Church in Laurel are also named in the report, Fathers John Wilebski and Jorge Antonio Valles Lopez. Meantime, victims and lawyers are lining up to file charges against their alleged abusers. David Lorenz of the Survivors Network of those abused by priests says victims can now tell their stories, and he expects those stories will spark others to come forward.
So the next steps are, yes, attorneys are lining up. People who need support will finally be able to get it. The diocese has said, they've put out $1.2 million to support survivors. That's 600. That's divided between 600 people in the report. That's $2,000 a person. That doesn't get you very much therapy in today's world.
And Lorenz says the 600 victims named in the report likely represent only 20% of those who were abused. Well, the search is on for a missing person. Take a look at this picture. This is 74-year-old Joelle Dark. Police say she was last seen yesterday afternoon on the 6900 block of Sunnyside Lane in Oxon Hill. She is 5'2", 129 pounds, and was last seen wearing a black jacket, white striped blouse, blue jeans, and a light blue backpack. She also walks with a cane. If you have any information as to her whereabouts, call police. Well, Montgomery County Police need your help in locating a missing teenage girl. This is 14-year-old Jamira Frazier. Police say she was last seen Sunday, March 26 on the 500 block of College Parkway. Frazier is 5'1" and weighs about 100 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to contact police. That phone number 301-279-8000. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. More news in just a bit. Stay tuned.
I struggle with tremors, double vision, brain fog, and chronic pain.
I picture myself being in this place and everything being out of reach.
When you hear about a cure, it brings that hope back.
It would mean to my kids that they get their mom back.
And people would be saying, hey, remember MS? You know what that is?
If no one would have to ever experience this, it would just change the world.
A Metro bus rider is dead following a confrontation with another rider in Wheaton. It happened yesterday afternoon at a bus stop near University Boulevard West and Amherst Avenues. Investigators say the two men got into an argument on the bus, but when they got off, one man stabbed the other and ran away. And 4 teenagers have been arrested for an armed carjacking. Police say the victim was carjacked at around 6 o'clock last night on the 8000 block of James Street in Upper Marlboro. The suspects were apprehended about 3 hours later after a brief chase on the Suitland Parkway. Charged in the incident are 18-year-old Jaquan Graham of Landover and 3 15-year-olds. So far this year, police have arrested 35 juveniles on carjacking charges. And while spring brings the promise of warmer weather and longer days, it also brings the increased threat of severe weather, such as thunderstorms and tornadoes. FEMA wants everyone to be ready and prepared when dangerous storms threaten your area. The agency says that it's important to listen to your local news stations for severe weather updates and warnings.
We want to make sure that we have our severe weather kits. So again, we want to make sure that we have our water, we have our prescriptions, we have extra cash. We want to make sure we protect our pets. Never forget our pets, of course. They're members of our family. We want to make sure that they're protected. We have some extra dog or cat food that we could use. We want to make sure that we have all of our important papers, insurance, medical documents, any type of legal documents. We want to make sure that those are kept in a waterproof container. We want to make sure all of these are in a place that will be protected from a tornado or a severe thunderstorm. And of course, that would be in an interior room, if you have one, with no windows, as far away from the outside walls and windows as possible.
And our area is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock tonight. Now, you can also visit ready.gov for more information about getting ready for severe weather. We'll have more with FEMA tomorrow. And a Prince George's County Council member wants to limit the availability of cigarettes. Currently, if 25% of a store's sales are generated by tobacco or cannabis paraphernalia, the business must be located in an area zoned as industrial. Councilmember Waller Blagay wants to cut that number to 5%.
So now, by labeling any convenience store that sells more than 5% of tobacco product is considered a tobacco store. And if they do, they have to move into an industrial zone. So, I mean, that really is going to lower, if they want to stay in the residential communities or in the commercial communities near residential areas, they're going to have to decrease not only their tobacco products, but also their cannabis paraphernalia, because we do think that that's something that many stores are preparing for.
Council voted 5-0 to move it out of committee, now heads for a public hearing and a final vote. Well, with only days left in the legislative session, Governor Wes Moore announces his nominee for Adjutant General to head the Maryland National Guard. Moore has selected Brigadier General Janine Burkhead to lead the state's military reserve forces. Burkhead is currently the commander of the Maryland Army National Guard, which oversees 4,600 soldiers and maintains dozens of installations statewide.
Maryland National Guard has a long tradition of answering the call to duty, whether it's during times of war, national disasters, civil unrest, or fires yesterday in Baltimore County. We will rise to meet any challenge and respond to any emergency and face down any enemy, foreign or domestic.
I know that when it comes to the strength of her experience as well as the strength of her character, that she will lead Maryland's military department with great honor and distinction. She has dedicated her life to serving and protecting others.
If confirmed by the Senate, Burkhead will become the only black woman leading a state military in the country. And still ahead, sports and more right after the break. Stay tuned.
Hey there, sports fans, and coming up soon, I'll be talking about the results of the Wise High School baseball, Terp softball, Orioles, and Nationals game, as well as the introductory conference of newly hired head coach Dwayne Simpkins. Stay right there.
Yes, who's next on a scale that never fails?
What about me? Can you guess my weight?
Well, when it comes to your weight, I'm going to tell you what I know. I know the healthier option often isn't an option, that you don't exercise enough because you can't, and how everyone blames you, especially yourself. I know your weight is out of control because I know it's not just what you're eating, it's what you're being fed.
Welcome back. College Park residents, now's the time to order your absentee ballot for the city's upcoming mayoral special elections. Applications to vote by mail can be downloaded by going to the City of College Park website and clicking on City Elections. The application must be mailed or dropped off to City Hall or one of the secure ballot drop boxes located at Davis Hall, Hollywood Shopping Center, or the UMD campus by April 26th. You can also apply in person for a ballot starting April 27th. The special election takes place Sunday on May 6th. Well, the Half Note Lounge could soon reopen in Bowie, but not without opposition. For years, the lounge was located here at the Glendale Road at the Duval Village Shopping Center. The owners now plan to relocate a few minutes away at the Bowie Marketplace on Annapolis Road. Bowie Council member Henry Gardner says he's received letters for and against the half note relocating in the city, so he's hosting a town hall meeting this coming Saturday. It'll be held at the Ken Hill Center beginning 10 a.m. Gardner and restaurant owners will address community concerns at the meeting. The restaurant will be located in the space previously leased by ASAP Cleaners and reportedly needs only a use and occupancy permit to open.
Everybody, it's time for your Thursday Sports Page. We'll start with some local baseball. The Wise High School baseball team took the diamond again this afternoon, this time versus St. Charles. Even though the Pumas failed to score during the game, there were still multiple highlights made by them, specifically a good hit as well as a stolen base by number 8, Ray Hicks. The Pumas' next game will be against Bladensburg High School on Wednesday. Switching to UMD sports, the Terps softball team was in action yesterday. They went up against Rutgers, losing 4-3. The Lady Terps would lead the Scarlet Knights through the first 6 innings, but in the 7th and final inning, the Scarlet Knights would score 4 times, with a walk-off hit coming from Rutgers player Morgan Smith. The Lady Terps are now 26-10 and will take the field next against Nebraska tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Moving on to some MLB action, the Orioles matched up against the Texas Rangers yesterday, this time losing 5-2. The Birds would not score until the 5th inning, tying the game 2-2. But unfortunately, the Birds' defense couldn't stop the Rangers from scoring 3 more times for the win. The Orioles will now come back home to begin a 3-game stand with the Yankees tomorrow at 3:05. Moving on to the Nationals, they continue to struggle to start the year as they fell to the Tampa Bay Rays again, 7-2. They are now 1-5 on the season. Their next game will be versus the Colorado Rockies this afternoon. And finally, Dwayne Simpkins has been hired as American University's head men's basketball coach. Simpkins is a former DeMatha High School and University of Maryland star.
First and foremost, it's character. We're going to recruit, we're going to identify, and we're going to recruit high character young men. It's obvious, you can see talent. It's going to be a foregone conclusion that if we're recruiting you, you're a very good player, you have the talent. But we're going to peel back the layers of that onion, so to speak, to get to find out who those people are at their core. We got to have people in our program that are respectful, that want to be pushed, they're respectful of their parents, obviously, and they're respectful of their teammates.
And that is your Thursday Sports Page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thank you, Simon. Let's get a quick look now at our 3-day weather forecast. Again, we're under severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, cloudy with showers expected in the high near 59. Saturday, mostly cloudy with a high near 52. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 58 degrees. And that's our news for tonight. I'm Byron Scott. See you tomorrow. Good night.